Hello, this is Rick Morris. We're on a journey to find our purpose and our destiny, and we've gone a long way. We're on step 17. This is episode 2. The title today is Plans for Me. The step states we are in anticipation for what God has for us because we love Him. I want to take a little time here to reiterate something I mentioned before and just expound on it a little because it really fits this episode. When God is working on our heart, showing us our character defects, and He's working with us to find our destiny and our purpose and our path, and He's waiting to see how we handle everything before He opens a door, and He wants to do it at exactly the right timing. Sometimes, like me, we get a little bit impatient. I look at it as like He's baking a cake, and we're the cake, and we're in a hot oven. That's the way I felt. And so I'm in this hot oven, and He's showing me things, and I'm working on them and dealing with them as best I know how. And I cried out to Him. I said, Lord, I'm done. This cake is baked, man. I'm I'm I think you've cleaned me up just fine. Let me out of here. It's hot in here. And you know what? I felt like He told me. This wasn't an audible word, but I felt like He said, "No, we got just a little more to do. You just hang in there. This cake is not quite baked yet." And so I did, and it was an interesting time in my life, and I wasn't in there too much longer, but I was longer than I wanted to be. Anyway, the step states we are in anticipation for what God has for us because we love Him. The scripture I've selected is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you." Jeremiah 29, verses 11 and 12. Boy, does that ever fit what I'm talking about today. God says He has a plan for us. This plan is made just for me and nobody else, tailor-made just for me. It's my personal plan. He says the plan is good, it's for my good, and it's not evil. The plan gives me a future and it gives me hope. You might say, okay, Rick, how do I find this plan? I'll pause, then I'll give you my answer. He says if we call upon Him in prayer, He will hear. In the past, we sought the way of the world for our future. We followed our own instinct. Some of us had parents and coaches and counselors to help us plan our future, but most of us were on our own. I was too arrogant to listen to anybody, actually. We stumbled through life making decisions by the seat of our pants. We heard through the years that education was important. I knew that. I knew education was important. So we went to school until we graduated, or some of us dropped out. We now know that if we call upon Him in prayer, He will hear us. Ask Him to help us, and then we'll find the plan He has for us. Now you might say, well, look, in the previous episode, I learned that if I make good choices, I will get on a path to a good future. Now you're telling me that God has a plan for me that is good and it gives me a future and it gives me hope. When I put all this together, if I make good choices, call on God in prayer and ask Him to give me His good plan for my life, He will open a door for me to walk through? Wow, that sounds too good to be true. But let me tell you, it is true. So you say, okay, I'm making good choices. How soon will He open the door for me to walk through? Trust Him and be patient. Just like I said in my opening statements, He wants the best for us. He knows our heart. He knows how much He can prosper us before we get arrogant and prideful. Typically, He will bless us a little and see how we handle it. If we handle a little prosperity, He'll give us more responsibility. And He'll see how we handle that a little more. We are His children. Now, when we think about it that way, when we bless our children, say with their own room, we have several children and one of them gets his or her own room. We watch and see how they handle that responsibility. If they handle that well and it goes good, maybe we let them use the family car. We see how they handle that responsibility. If that goes well, they handle that correctly, then maybe they get their own car. But we don't just, with the day they get their driver's license or their permit, go buy them a brand new shiny vehicle. We just, that's courting a disaster. And God doesn't, He looks at it the same way. He's going to give us a little blessing, and then He sees how we handle it, and we handle it well. We handle the responsibility of the blessing well. He gives us a little more. So the best thing we can do to move it along is to talk to Him and tell Him what we're thinking about the plan that He is showing us. Of course, He already knows, because He knows everything. But when we pour out our heart to Him, we become more intimate and real with Him. He can certainly trust us. Or we can certainly trust Him. Can He trust us? God has no limits. He is all powerful. He owns everything. All our gifts and talents came from Him. He's looking for unselfish people who desire to serve. When He finds someone who is thankful and appreciative for who they are and where they are, He knows this is good ground where He can sow good seeds that will yield 30, 60, even 100-fold. Take some time. Think about your talents, your gifts that God has given you. Those can be from job, education, family, strength, personality traits, whatever gifts He's given you. He may have made you a great singer or a great athlete. He has made you uniquely with your own gifts and talents. He's looking to you to bless you. The first blessings will come small. Handle those well. Serve other people. Bless Him. The scripture says when we give to the poor, we're lending to God. Man, that is a powerful verse. When we give to the poor, like give somebody a bottle of water on the side of the road, or carry their groceries to their car, or open the door for them. When we give to anyone, we serve people, we're lending to God. Man, I love to be in that transaction. Lending to God He's pretty faithful. He is faithful. So we're going to go on to the next episode. You think about what you've heard today. Take it to heart. Take action. Don't just think about it. Take action. And we'll move on to the next episode.